Thank you so much for all the ones that are out there. The Scaling New Heights 2020, being here with us with exhibitors and being in the virtual conference as well. Thank you so much. We are here today and we are here with Certipay, Rachel Comella. And we are very excited because we are going to talk about something that is very important for the accountants, which is the payroll and the HR. And we're going to talk about all the different issues that we go over it and how Certipay can fix all that, right, Rachel? Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, tell us all about Certipay. We are really excited because as we were talking before we went live, is the whole idea behind Certipay. How did it, how everything started? Tell us all about it. And what are the struggles that you see every day with the accountants?
Sure. Well, Certipay started basically as a technology company. So really understanding how technology can help with the payroll process. And then we grew into a solution for people. We know that the people are the most important part of your business. So developing a platform that helps in all types of businesses and solving the human capital management question and problem. So anything related to payroll and HR and all of the pieces that go with the people. And what's really different about Certipay, our biggest differentiator, is how we can customize everything. We can take any business, any platform that is needed, and we can create a solution that matches their business perfectly. And no matter what that is, we have several different levels of payroll, anything from very basic, simple, do it on your phone, all the way up to, the super high-end Cadillac with all the bells and whistles and every possible reporting you might need, and everything in between. And then with HR, same thing. We have a DIY platform that is an online kind of service with HR, and all the way up to complete HR consulting platforms where we actually do the strategic planning and work with the senior leaders of companies and help them develop platforms that they need that work with their business goals. So we can really create some incredible HR consulting platforms that it's very unique. We don't have a competitor in the industry that can do what we do. And so that makes us really unique and special.
And that is important. That is very, very important. One of the main things that we see is that we have a company, even one person, now we hire another person because we're growing. We're here at Scaling New Heights to grow, right? We're here to spend, we're here to scale, to rise. And then we hire a second person, a third person, and we don't have HR per se. And Certipay does that for you.
That's right.
Every single step.
That's
right. So you take it from one solopreneur to now 100, 1,000, how many,
Exactly. No limits.
The whole department.
One thing that we see quite frequently is just what you said. So you might have a business that starts as a very small mom and pop, or, the siblings have started a business and they've got 8 employees or 10 employees. And so you start to have a level where, okay, well, maybe we should have a handbook, or maybe we should have some policies and procedures in place. And so then they kind of grow and have growing pains along the way. And then they have maybe a trusted person who is an office manager or the right-hand person for one of the leaders, and they trust that person. They're like, okay, you're going to be HR because we trust you.
Yeah.
And it's all the confidential information. And so then you end up with a person who is the HR person who isn't really an HR person. And so now you've got issues that start to pile up. So oftentimes when we come into the mix, it's because there's an issue and we're being very reactionary. And so we've got to go back and kind of clean up and put things in order and really add in those pieces of HR that are so critical for maintaining a business and being in compliance and protecting from the risk and the exposure. And we see some of these exposure pieces are so expensive, thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's simple stuff. I think a lot of people have this false sense of security around the 50 employee number.
Yeah.
But it's really, that is not that big of a deal. When you talk about 50 employees, it's usually something around FMLA.
Yes.
Like, oh, we have 50 employees, we need FMLA now.
Yes.
Well, you had one employee and you needed a handbook, you need a hiring procedure, you need your FLSA in compliance, you need to follow DOL regulations. Are your files in order? And people don't realize.
And all the people that have 50 employees right now are having a heart attack.
Because they're way
because they
out
don't
of
know
compliance
that.
already.
Yes.
And that's usually, we come into the mix somewhere around there. So the really smart business owners pull us in early. And then everything we do is proactive. And when you do these things proactively, it costs you this much money. When you do it reactionary, it's huge.
Yes, the budget increases.
That's right.
And one of the main things that you just said, Rachel, that is so important is the fact that we need to go and grow with you guys.
That's right.
We cannot just start when we have already a problem of compliance. And we're dealing with the government people. We are not dealing with, you know, our uncle that lends us money. We're not dealing with those people. We're dealing with the government. And maybe, you know, we have a hiccup and it will be forgiven, but the second hiccup may not be forgiven, right?
Well, the first one might not be forgiven either. There's some big
Imagine.
issues out there that can be really, really expensive, and it's typically things that you're not aware of. There's huge risk and exposure hiding in your file cabinets or in your manager's office or someplace where you're not ready for it. And then all of a sudden Homeland Security walks in and they say, hey, can you show me your I-9s?
I know.
And you say, what's an I-9?
Yes.
And then Homeland Security says, hey, we want to take a look. And when they leave, they call OSHA and they say, go check out their forms. And then they call the DOL and they say, go check it out.
How many problems we have already
That's
there.
right. And meanwhile, everybody's blinking dollar signs because they know they can come in and audit you and they're going to end up with a lot of money and you're going to be paying a lot of money.
That's right. And one of the most important part about what you said is that those are for the clients. Those
That's
are
right.
the clients that they have. But if you are an accountant, if you're a tax preparer, and you are growing your business for an accounting or bookkeeping, you know that you can count on Certipay to grow with you. And
That's right.
you guys are the ones that handle that part of the business that we as an accountants may not want to handle. Is that correct?
That's correct. And you know, you mentioned such a great point about the payroll piece. So this is a little thing, but a huge risk because you might be doing payroll for somebody or for your clients, and you do what they tell you. You say, pay this person this much money, pay this person that much money, and that's fine. You're just doing what they're telling you to do. But meanwhile, they may not be telling you to do that in compliance.
Yes.
And so now you've got an issue. Is somebody categorized or classified as exempt who should be non-exempt and vice versa? And you aren't necessarily going to know that as the firm. You're only processing what they tell you to do.
Information.
Yes. So it's very important to understand if everybody is classified correctly, and that if your clients don't know that, you need to be able to say, let's take a look at this. Do we have matching job descriptions? Are we in compliance here?
Yes. And we leave the work of the expert to the expert, right?
That's right.
And that is what Certipay does. We don't want to handle. We handle a lot. As accountants, we handle the day-to-day with the customer. We handle their financials. We handle their banking, their reconciliations. We handle so many different things. And as a tax preparers that are growing their business as well towards the bookkeeping and the accounting, they don't want to handle another department as HR. That is a lot. And maybe you want to hire, but Certipay will be in another type of budget. It will be less expensive than just hiring another person that may not know all the tins and whistles like what you just said, Rachel, that you guys are expert on that area.
That's
so
right.
let me ask you something. When it comes for somebody that it has, look, I'm doing my payroll, I'm doing my HR, I think I'm doing something with compliance, but then it comes to you and say, well, how do I switch? How do I start with you guys? What is the process that you start with an accountant firm that is bringing all of their clients to you guys so you guys can handle it? How does that work?
So it's great because we do this all the time.
Okay.
So we have a team of people that works with the CPA firm vertical. And when we pull these people in, we look at exactly the way the platform needs to look. And then we build it out to match their clients. So it's extremely smooth. It's very easy. We can also make our payroll look like it's their payroll. So we can do so many things working with the CPA firms to make it exactly the way they want it to be for their clients, so we can really have an incredible relationship. It's so important to have clear communication, have a great relationship. And that's what our strength is, really understanding how valuable their clients are and how valuable the people are.
And Rachel, that is just to wrap it up and to understand relationship. You said the most important word for us as an accountants, because we're dealing with a lot of information that is very confidential, and you guys deal with a lot of confidential information. So just to tell people, can they contact you and your team to follow up, to start with Certipay, to maybe have you guys have a demo and show them what they can get from Certipay? We want to know how to contact you and your team.
Absolutely. You can find us online. Certipay.com is our website. You can send me an email at hrinfo@certipay.com and reach out to us anytime. We would love to help you, and we'd love to hear your questions and find solutions that work for you.
That's right. So go in, for those of you that are virtual, go into Certipay.com or send an email directly to Rachel, and she will be able to help you with all the necessities that you have for payroll, but also for HR, which is very important. Be in compliance. Do what is right. And we're here. We're very excited. Thank you for being part of Scaling New Heights, even on these times. And thank you for just reaching out and being able to give so much to the community out there. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.